So you want a sticker? I got stickers, Sasnak stickers, little bumper sticker things. If you want a sticker, go to hobotech.tv/shop. Okay, his website. Whoop, I touched it. His website looks kind of like that right there. So it's hobotech.tv/shop, and you can find these stickers. Okay, and Tom will do all the mailing and addressing and all that. So basically go on there. I think you can use PayPal through his website. I have a full-time trucking job and a part-time YouTube thing, so I don't have time to mail all these letters or all these stickers. But Tom has plenty of time, so he volunteered to do it. So, if you want a sticker, that's how you do it. Morning, America! What am I thinking? Morning, world. Morning, Europe. Morning, Africa. Morning, Australia. Morning, all these other foreigner countries. I don't mean to disclude you. It's just morning, America. That's my thing. So, but morning, England. Morning, Scotland. Germany, Wales, Portugal. you on down the list. You got the idea. A lot of people from Europe are always saying, why did you ever say morning Europe or something? So, yeah, there you go. You got it today. What's the subject today? Well, the subject today is I got a comment on the YouTube channel here from a fella, and I went back trying to find that comment, so I could give him credit. You know, it was Bob or Frank or, you know, whoever. And I can't find that comment anymore. It's so far back I can't find it. It's from a week ago, and I've got a list of comments a mile long. So whoever you were, you'll remember. You know, when I do this video, you'll oh, that was me that gave him that idea. The question he had was, how do truck drivers find their load? You know, here you are, you have a truck, you're sitting in your truck. How do you know to go over there and pick up that particular trailer and take it over there? Well, the simple answer is you call your dispatch, and dispatch will dispatch you on a run. But there's more to it than that. A simple company driver, if you go to truck driving school or whatever and become a driver, you're more than likely going to lease on or hire on with a company, and they're going to do all the bookwork and paperwork and dispatching and finding the loads and all that for you. You basically just make a phone call and call them and say, hey, I'm in Birmingham, Alabama, and what do you have? And they'll say, well, as a company driver, they usually don't give you a lot of choices. Maybe one or two, maybe, but they don't go down a whole list. They just say, you're in Birmingham, go over and pick this trailer up and take it to Chicago. And you don't get much of a choice on that. So guess what? You're going to Chicago. You know, oh man, I don't like Chicago. I don't want to go there. But that's how company drivers are dispatched. You're just told where to go, basically, because they own the truck. They own the equipment. You're just an employee, so you do what you're told to some extent. I mean, you can grumble about it and say, hey, I really don't want to go to Chicago. And if you got a good dispatcher, he'll say, well, how about Denver? Oh, yeah, I'd rather go to Denver. Okay, and you take that load instead. But a lot of times as a company driver, you have to go where you're told to go. Then you get up into the next level, which is an owner-operator. An owner-operator is what I'm doing right now. You own a truck and you lease it onto a company, and they do the same thing. They dispatch you. They do all the bookwork and the paperwork and all the permits and the insurances and all the office work. They do all that for you, and you pay a percentage of it. Okay, you get, instead of a company driver might get about 25% of the run. A company owner, like I used to be, would get 100% of the run. A company or an owner-operator might get 70 or 75 or maybe even up to 80% of the run. Okay, so if something pays $1,000, a company driver would make 220, 250 bucks. A company owner, like it used to be, I would make the whole $1,000. The owner-operator, he would make 750 or 800 bucks or 710 or whatever, you know, whatever the percentage is. So Now, if you're an owner or operator and you're leased to a company, you own the truck. And if you say, I ain't going, I'm not going to the Northeast, or I just don't want to go to Florida, or let's just say there's a hurricane coming in to the Carolina like it did last a month or so ago. I really don't want to go to Carolinas because there's a hurricane coming in. And you, as an owner operator, you can say no. As a company driver, you kind of, they twist your arm and say you got to go. So anyway, with all that, the dispatch, they have, in the company, they have salesmen that call companies, and get the load. They call them and sell their services, so far the trucking services, and say we can go here, we go there, here, go there, and this is the rates we would charge, and do you have any, are you interested in our service? And the company would say, yeah, we'd like to ship some stuff with you, and they give them all the information that gets passed down the chain to eventually to the driver, and the driver writes it down and says, okay, I'm supposed to go from here to pick up this trailer and at this customer and take it to that customer over at that other town. So that's how drivers normally get dispatched. Now, if you're in a company situation, you kind of have to go where you're told. If you're an owner-operator, you have a lot more leeway of saying, yes, I'll go here, or no, I don't. They'll give you 3 or 4 options maybe. They'll say, well, all right, you're in Birmingham. Do you want to go to Chicago? No, not really, because it's a big, nasty city or whatever, I know I'm going to get flack from the Chicago people. Chicago has its points, but as far as trucking goes, yeah. They'll say, well, you want to go to Denver? Well, there's a big snowstorm out in Denver, so you don't want to go there. All right, well, how about Kansas City then? Okay, yeah, and you'll agree on where to go. There's a load going to Kansas City, and they'll give you that particular load. Move on to the owner, the company owner. You actually own the company, like I used to own my company. I ran from Dallas to LA, and I didn't use dispatchers. I didn't use I was the dispatcher. I was the company. I was the maintenance. I was everything. I did the paperwork, the bookwork, on down the line. I did one-man show. Did the whole darn kit and caboodle. And but I get 100% of the revenue. Whenever a $1,000 check came in, I got the whole $1,000. I didn't have to bleed it off to other people. That was the good thing. But it was a lot of work, lots and lots of work. Getting up, woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning by a company, a customer saying, hey, I need 2 pallets picked up or something. Okay, all right, let me go back to sleep. So with that said, you got company owners. How would if you own their company, okay, let's say you bought a truck and you didn't want to lease to anybody, you just wanted to put your own name, Bob's Trucking right on the door. You wanted to, or Stan's Trucking right on the door, okay? You have to go get your authority. You got to get all the permits, you got to get the tags, and all the operating licenses and all that kind of stuff. Once you've got all that in place, you start calling customers. Well, I got lucky. A friend of mine was retiring from truck driving, and I just stepped in and took his customers. When he walked out one day, I walked in the next, and the customers saw no change in. He built it all up over the years, and I stepped in. I got really, really lucky. Most companies or most drivers don't get that. But on the other hand, I wouldn't have started my own company from scratch. I mean, it's lots and lots of work. So, but anyway, I'd call a customer, and I would have these group of customers, and I did what called LTL, less than truckload. Less than truckload means you do, instead of a whole truckload of widgets or whatever, a whole truckload of hamburger meat or steaks or whatever, pumpkins or lettuce or whatever. That's a truckload. You pick up a whole truckload here, and you take that whole truckload over to there. That's truckload. You have truckload that has stops, where you have like 2 or 3 pickups. Produce is like this, where you have 2 or 3 pickups. You go here and pick up 4 pallets of carrots. Go over here, pick up 9 pallets of grapes, and go over here and pick up whatever the difference would be, 4 pallets of lettuce or something, and you take that to a grocery store chain like Albertsons or Safeway or Kroger or someplace like that, and they would unload the whole thing at their place. Other places you'd pick up a whole load of lettuce and take part of the load to this town, part to the next town, part to the next town. It might be all Kroger, but it's 3 different distribution centers. You know, you get the idea. You have multiple stops. Then you get into what you call LTL, less than truckload. It's kind of like the truckload stuff is a taxi or limousine. It's a limousine, and you've paid for the whole limousine, okay? So they get the whole truck, they get to use the truck by themselves. Nobody else shares the truck. LTL is more like a city bus. You just paid for the seat, okay? So let's say you have 3 pallets you need to bring from, in my case, from LA to Dallas, okay? The customer has 3 pallets they want brought from LA to Dallas, and I would go over and pick those 3 pallets up, and they would just pay for those 3 pallet spaces, not for the full truckload, okay? The full truck might, let's say it all adds up to, let's say $4,000, okay, on that particular run. They wouldn't pay $4,000. What they would pay is a 20th of that. So what would that be? $200 a pallet, let's say. So $200 a pallet times 3 pallets would be $600. That's all they'd have to pay. They're just paying for the space that they're using. That's called LTL trucking. But I'd have to call a customer and say, how much do you have this week? And they say, oh, I've got 3 pallets. Okay, and I'd put it down in my book. Then I call another customer. How many pallets you got today? I only got 1. Okay, I'll write it down. Where's it picking up and all that? Okay. I call another customer. How much you have? Oh, I've got 6 pallets. Okay, where are they at? Well, 2 here, 2 here, 2 here. Oh, okay, great. And they would build the truck up into a full truckload. Okay, and there comes your $4,500, $4,800, whatever the rate is. You add all those pallets up, and that's how much the truck made that particular load. I'd get a whole 100% of that money. I did all the work though. so I'd have to call the customers myself. So that's back to the original question: where do truck drivers get their loads? If you own the company, you have to call the customer. First of all, you got to know who the customer is. You got to have their phone number. You got to have a rapport with them. It's hard to build that up from scratch. Just a cold call. You know, I mean, how many people would like to be a telemarketer calling people up just cold? Hello, Mr. Johnson. We'd like to sell you. Click. You get the idea. It's hard to get your foot in the door. Once you get your foot in the door, though, you treat that customer like gold, because they can always go get that other fella, you know. And so yeah, you bend over backwards for your customers, and but they reward you good because the pay is really good compared to a company driver or an owner-operator. After a while, it got to me. It was too much work. Go nonstop. Never slow down. So what I did, I backed off from that. I sold that company to a friend of mine, and sold the truck, the trailer, the whole 9 yards. And I went out and bought this truck, and I leased to a company in Oklahoma, and all they do is haul brand new trailers, and it's the simplest job I've ever had. That's why I like it. 4 years ago, I hated trucking. I wanted to get out of it so bad, but now I'm renewed. I like trucking again. Everything about trucking that I liked I'm doing now. Everything I hated about trucking, I don't do anymore. All the 3 a.m. appointments at a cold storage, going to Walmart and unloading and taking 6 hours. I don't do that anymore. You know, having to unload a whole truck because the load is not considered delivered until it's on their dock. You just pull up and back up to the door. That's not delivered. Out of the truck onto the dock, separated, sorted exactly the way they want. That's considered delivered. You know, so I always thought that was odd. Hey, we ordered all this lettuce, and I'd go over, pick it up, bring it over, and bump it to their dock. I got it here. And they go, no, it's not here yet. Here is on our dock, you know, and in the order we want it, you know. We want it, you only want it this high, not that high, you know, so you have to take a layer off the top so it fits in their cooler or something. So I'd have to do all that work myself, or you'd hire what they call a lumper, you know, so you'd hire a lumper service to do the work for you. By the time you pay for them, well, that takes profit off the top of your, you know, over the overall, you know, thing of the overall, what am I looking for? It shaves off part of the profit. So I usually like to try to do it myself. Some days you're just too tired, or it's 3 in the morning, you got to get to sleep, you know. You got to get some sleep, so you pay the lumpers. They unload the truck. When they're done, they come up and knock on your door. Hey, pay us so much money, okay, and you're done. You go in and get your paperwork and leave. And so that's how that. There's so much to trucking that I could, you know, I need to tell, but for now, that's enough for this video, I think. I don't know how. Yeah, we're 15 minutes. My Lord, how's the time fly on these videos? So anyway, I'm going to let you go on that. That's how truckers get their load. Company drivers just call dispatch and go where they're told. Owner-operators call dispatch, and they get to pick and choose a little bit. And company owners, they have to call the customers themselves and set everything up themselves. Okay? I'm sure I missed something somewhere. Some of you truck drivers that watch these videos are going to go, what about this? Well, I forgot. So anyway, friends, that's good for now. So, ciao. We'll see you later. Bye.